Hey guys, welcome back to Medical Coding with Blue. Today's episode is Letters to Blue. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I am Blue, I'm a medical coder. Every week I take some of the letters that have been submitted from viewer comments, through emails, from direct messages, and I put it all into one episode. So it's sort of like Q&A Tuesday. These are people who have a question, or perhaps they have stories they like to share. And so I go ahead and just roll it all into one episode to make it an extended version like Q&A Tuesday. But if you would like to have your letter submitted for a future episode of Letters to Blue, I hope that you'll send me an email or comment below. I have my email address in the description box below. So thank you to everybody who submitted their letter. Let's get started. All right. The first letter. I have a question. I am currently enrolled in an Associate of Applied Science degree program in Medical Information Management with Medical Coding concentration. However, my program is not Commission on Accreditation for Health Informatics and Information Management, or AHIMA accredited, so I will not be able to sit for my RHIT exam. RHIT, if you don't know, is a Registered Health Information Technician. This is the associate's degree. This designation is offered with the American Health Information Management Association. I will not be able to sit for my RHIT exam at the end of my degree. I am considering switching to an accredited school so that I can sit for my RHIT. My question is this: if my long-term goal is to work remotely from home, will the RHIT designation make a big difference on my ability to get a medical coding career working from home, or does it not really matter? All right, here's the deal. This is twofold on this question. So the first part is this: understanding what you're getting before you start putting out all this money. A lot of people think that to be successful in the health information industry, that you have to have your degree. There are many people who go their entire careers with just a certification. My strong recommendation, and I strongly recommend this, if you are brand new to this field and you have no idea, you've never been a medical coder before, you've never worked in health information before, I strongly recommend that you start off with a certification. This is going to be the cheapest route possible in most cases, because I've seen some trade schools that have these training programs that are astronomical in the cost. But for the most part, if you are going directly through the associations themselves, or if you are doing independent study, that is going to be possibly the cheapest way to go. There are other programs out there that may give you a fraction of the training and say that that's enough to give you just enough to pass the exam. I don't know. So there's so many out there. But when it comes to getting degrees, you do not have to even have a degree to get into this field. You don't have to have a degree to be successful in this field either. So those are the things that you have to know right off the bat. The other thing is this: if you want to get a degree, the reason that you should want to get a degree is if you want to do one of the following things. You want to be a supervisor, a manager, a lead coder, because that's generally the lead coder is a designation for the RHIT. That's usually what they do. Or you want to be an educator or an auditor. So any of those things, if that's your deal, you want to do that, then by all means get your RHIT. You want to be an educator of some kind, whether it is with the providers or with medical coding students, by all means go ahead and get your degree. But if you are just brand new and you don't really know, having that designation is not going to get you a remote coding job quicker. It's not even going to get you a job faster, just to get you in the field. The thing with the degree programs is that they do offer externships. Externships are a great way to make those connections when you're first in the industry, because it is all about shaking hands and getting to know people. I didn't know anybody in the industry when I first started. So I know that there's people who have had better luck in starting sooner because they knew people already. So that's not true for all of us. But if you can get connections that way by going through an externship with the program, then that is good. But it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get a job right away. All right. So that's the first part on that. So if you do decide you want to go ahead and get this degree, know that it's going to cost you money. And a lot of people will take loans, they'll take out student loans. And I am a big advocate of not having student loans. I do not carry a student loan currently myself because I don't believe in them. Because for me, it's a lot of money if you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. I've known many people who are RHITs who went through the whole program, sat for their designation, and they don't even use it because they didn't know what it was like. They didn't know what it was about. And then when they did get into it, they decided they didn't like it. All of that money spent for something that you didn't even know and you didn't do your research. So that's why I always tell people, know what you're getting yourself into. The other part is this. The viewer asked, will it make a big difference in my ability to get a medical coding career working from home? We are in a pandemic still. We are in this pandemic, and we don't know how long it's going to last. But there have been brand new medical coders with just their certifications that have been trained temporarily at the facility for some, and then they send them home, which is great because at least it gives them a chance to be one-on-one with the people and other veteran coders. Because when you're brand new to medical coding, you are going to want to be in a facility where you can ask people questions. Because to do remote coding and you've never done it before and you don't have anybody around you to sort of ask questions to, is going to be very difficult. I will say that. The other thing is this: some facilities that you are applying that you have to go there, like a place that you have to physically go, like a hospital, and if they hire you and they like you and they send you home to work, then they know that they have a brand new coder that they're going to have to work with. So in those instances, facilities are making concessions for that because we're in a pandemic. So, but in other places, you have to physically go in and work. If you're trying to apply for a remote position right now, like a straight remote position, the chances of getting in, if you're brand new with no experience, are slim to none, even still in the pandemic, because people who have those positions are typically people who have had experience already. And that is what remote coding companies are expecting, okay? I don't know every employer in the world, so maybe there might be people who are willing to take a chance, but even still that I've been looking in these job listings, and I do that for show research and things like that, I'm still seeing that they're requiring that you have experience, okay? Yes, even though if you apply at a place you have to physically go and they tell you that we need you to have 1 to 3 years of experience, still apply to those places anyway, because a lot of times those places, any kind of facility that's asking for that, and if they can't find people in the area that are qualified, and here you come along and you have your stellar resume, number one, and a stellar cover letter that does not sound like everybody else's, then you may have a chance, all right? But it's all about putting yourself in the right place at the right time. So that's why I say you have to apply everywhere, even when they're asking for experience. But when it comes to remote coding, they are typically going to want you to have experience before you start doing that. And having an RHIT designation is not going to get you a job at home quicker. Okay, so that is just my advice on that. And I will leave a link for the Commission on Accreditation for Health Informatics and Information Management in the description box below. If you are thinking about taking a college course for this, make sure that that college course is approved with them, so that way that you can sit for those AHIMA designations. If you're going to be spending college money to go to college, you need to make sure that it's going to be worth your money and worthwhile, because if you want to in the future sit for a designation, you want to make sure that the money that you've been spending is well spent and going towards what you want in your goal. So that's just my advice. Next letter. Hi, Blue. I have been in the medical field for over 20 years. I have my medical assistant certificate and trained on the job to be a medical biller. I was recently laid off because the hospital closed. I am really considering going into medical coding because I already have background and understanding. I just need your help choosing a program. I want to make more money and I don't want to waste my time. I'm in my 40s and I'm ready to make a change. I really want to climb that ladder and feel successful and accomplished. Thank you so much for your time. All right. I will say this. The viewer spelled my name, B-L-U-E. I'm going to keep bringing this up because normally this does not bother me. I get it because my name is very unique and it's B-L-E-U. It's all over my channel. It is literally in the title of my channel, Medical Coding with Blue. The reason that I'm going to get more particular about the details is because I'm talking to coders and future coders. You have to start paying attention to details. Please spell my name correctly, B-L-E-U. Okay, so that out of the way, I will say that. So please be sure to pay attention. And I know sometimes it's autocorrect, but you can still look at your message before you send it. Okay, so that is just my little thing there. Okay, but to answer your question, I have plenty of videos throughout my listings. I do have the playlist, and I will leave it in the description box below, about getting started in medical coding, what you need to do, and I've got lots of informative videos. Take the time to look through my videos, guys. I've got tons of advice videos, and I try to be as specific as I possibly can in the titles because I know there's a lot. There's over 400 videos. I'm probably creeping up to about 500 now, but they're all meant to help you in some way. Just take the time to listen to them. That would be great because, you know, Q&A Tuesday has lots of random questions that come in from my audience. And if you're interested in having a question answered, be sure to comment below and I will add it to the list. That way, you know, you can see all the other questions and maybe there's a question that you didn't even think to ask. So that would be my advice there, is to start doing that. Do your research. Know which association you want to get involved with, either the American Health Information Management Association or the American Academy of Professional Coders. The viewer has a background in billing that's already going to put them ahead because they've done the billing side of the house. Usually billers make that transition over to medical coding. It's a little bit easier because they've had experience in it. And so that's one of those things that you can always fall back on if you've started in medical billing and then you're going to make that transition into the coding. So that's my advice there. Next letter. I'm 45, laid off in March due to the pandemic, and want to switch careers. I already have a master's degree in social work with a high student loan debt. Therefore, I would like to get into coding the quickest and the cheapest way possible. Going with AHIMA or AAPC seems to be the best choice. It is the only choice if you want to be a medical coder. And you want to be a competitive medical coder at that, you have to be certified with one of them. Okay. But if I do decide I want to further my career into management and want that degree, will the courses from a certification program transfer to most reputable HIM degree programs? Trying to figure out which way to go. Thanks in advance. So here's my advice, and I'm a friend here, okay? I'm being your friend. First advice that I want to say is, you said clearly right here that you already have a master's degree in social work with a high student loan debt. You have a high student loan debt already, and you're already thinking about wanting to possibly maybe get into medical coding and get into the management side, and which credentials, which classes are going to transfer over. Here's the thing. Slow down. Slow down, because you have to know and find out if you like medical coding first. And when you're in a certification program, you don't want to go through one of these quick 4-month courses or 6-month courses. I always recommend, if you are really wanting to take medical coding seriously and truly understand what you're doing, start in a program that is at a minimum of 9 months, 12 months, or 18 months. Because that's the only way that you're going to give yourself sufficient enough time to understand what you're doing. And I understand you already have a master's degree. That's great. Medical coding is a different animal. And when it comes to that, there's a lot to it. You can go through either association. Both of them have their online medical coding programs, and they are at a fraction of the cost of going to an online trade school. And as far as like what classes would transfer over, I don't really I don't really know too much about that. As far as like if it's in a bundle package, I don't know that it would transfer over. And I'm sure that you would be able to sort that out with the school if that is what you ultimately ended up doing. But the cheapest way would be either to self-study or go through the associations themselves and go through their online coding programs. So you really have to decide which association you want to be with in order to, start your journey. I do have plenty of videos. Check them out. And it's plenty of advice. I talk about the breakdown of the credentials and what means what. And that way you can make your decision, because I think that would help you the best to know which path to start learning how to code. But if I were you, I would slow down, get your certification first, get into the career of being a medical coder, decide if you like it, and then work towards getting a degree, because maybe you might get an employer who offers tuition reimbursement. I would strongly recommend not trying to rack up more student loan debt. Just my advice. Next letter. I was unsure of which path I want to take in the healthcare career field. Unsure if I should continue to rack up loans to pay for schooling. Watching your video lifted a heavy weight off my shoulder and gave me a clear mind. Thank you. So I'm not really sure what drove the viewer to make that comment, but I will say this. I tell you guys straight talk. I mean, there's a lot of self-serving people out there that will tell you, oh yeah, this is so easy to learn, or you can learn this quickly, and you can be on your way to starting this career with this ridiculously high salary rate that they are going to give you. See, here's the thing. I'm going to give you guys a straight talk because I have no dog in the fight. Whether you decide to do it or not is entirely up to you. I have gotten comments from some people who said, thank you, because you saved me. I would have spent thousands of dollars for nothing. This isn't for me. I'm not here to discourage people. I'm not here to give you like, oh, this is a great thing. I'm here to give you guys the real talk. And the real talk is, I really love this field. If you ask me, I'm a little bit biased, but at the same time, if you ask me, I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm going to let you know that there are ways that you can get into this field. As like far as like study wise goes, there's plenty of programs out there for assistance to pay for programs. You just have to look. The WIOA, or the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, is a video that I did. It's a program that I went through to get my schooling paid for. And I will be forever grateful for this program, because I went through this program and it paid for everything. I have a wonderful career that I love. I have a channel with over 8,000 subscribers today that I truly love. And I love doing this. And I love talking to you guys. And I wouldn't have this if it wasn't for that program. So I qualified for it because I was laid off. And that was how I was able to get my schooling paid for. So I did my part. I got a job in the field that I was trained in, productive member of society. So, that is an option if you qualify for those things. And there's lots and lots and lots of resources out there, guys. You just have to do your research and find them. Okay. And I got time for one more letter. Hi, Blue. I graduate in April with an Associate of Applied Science in Medical Coding from an accredited university, and I would like to sit for the CCS since I have no interest in management. Do you think I could still sit for the CCS? I contacted AHIMA, and they informed me that they could not tell me if I could or could not, which was confusing when the website says to contact them with questions about being qualified to do so. I have met all of their educational requirements, and I have been coding a year attending my program, which is also required. The CCS, or the Certified Coding Specialist, just so you know, is the only credential I planned on getting, but if my application is denied, I will be crushed. I am so ready to take this exam, and I test well. Should I anyway? So when you're going to register for the exam, it'll ask you, how do you qualify to sit for this exam? It will give you a whole bunch of options, you know, like if it was school or things like that. So they're going to want that information from you. Or if it's based on experience and based on having another credential, it's going to ask you all of those things on the website. I personally would call again to AHIMA and find out. Maybe you got somebody who is brand new, you know, who just started, you know, and didn't really understand, you know, how to answer. You know, maybe that was it. I don't know. But that would be my advice. But again, if you go and you start to register for the exam, it will ask you, how do you qualify to sit for this exam? So there's always that safety net to look at. But yes, definitely I would call them again and ask. So I think I got time for one more. Let's do one more. All right. Blue, I need you. I get so confused in school. Please help me. It seems so simple to you. It is my third day taking billing and coding, and it seems like a lot of info. The code, tabular list, the modifier symbols, I just can't remember everything. I wish you could be my teacher. You explain it so much simpler and clearer in your videos. My teacher goes way too fast. Anyway, thank you for answering me. Have a happy new year and stay safe. Best wishes to you this year. Oh, thank you. And the same to you. All right. Here's the thing. I've been at this for over a decade, so that's why it seems so easy to me. But trust me, there's times when I'm looking at stuff and I have to like kind of scratch my head like, wait, what? But it's just a matter of reading and like sort of going through those motions of like, okay, I have this resource to look at. You're only 3 days in, right, darling? You're 3 days in, and of course it's going to be information overload right now. That's what it is. There's a lot of stuff coming at you all at one time. Take your time to understand it. Do your flashcards. You can always make the little pictures of the symbols on the flashcards, and that way you can start to practice them from there. Flashcards are wonderful. You can keep them on a ring. You can flip them. You can take out the flashcards that you already know, but keep the ones that are really confusing to you, and just sort of stick with it. But 3 days in, you know, you just got to kind of hold on because it's going to get a lot more rocky after that. But you will get used to it. It's all about learning, and it's all about knowing that you're going to continue to learn. So. But that's my advice. Thank you so much for your comment. Thank you everybody for all of your letters, and I hope that you will continue to send these letters in. Lots of really good letters lately. I've got more letters, so I have content for another show. So I'm very excited about that and very grateful. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, but I will be back next week for Letters to Blue on Thursday, and I will see y'all tomorrow for Friday's episode. So if you are a medical coder, a medical coding student, somebody curious about the fascinating world of medical coding, a provider or a nurse, I invite you to like and subscribe and follow me on my journey in medical coding. I will see y'all next time. Bye!